Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you from the Appalachian Trail in Tennessee. What the name of Ned am I doing on the Appalachian Trail in Tennessee? To find out, stick around. All right, we are on the slog up out from Log Cabin Drive. Just a brief synopsis. I'll pop a graphic up here, but gonna do somewhere around 8,900 feet in elevation ascent total on the trip. 89 and some change, and I think it's 75 and some change total descent. Our total mileage for this trip, 28.2. I could do that in 2 days. I don't know, that might just stretch it out. Took Monday off, and the reason I picked this mileage is it just was convenient with trailheads. So my video from my day hike Hot Springs, I had, that was 16 and some change, ended at Log Cabin. So I'm trying to connect the section from Log Cabin to Hughes Gap. Of course, I won't be doing that all on this trip, but that's a section through there that once I connect that, I'll have everything from Springer to the bitter end, which is north of 19E, short of Hampton, Tennessee. So, got to climb up first thing. I have a gap. Looking at my elevation, since I've already broken my rule, my last section hike of always no bow, did that one so-bow. Probably would have done this one so-bow, but that's all right. And let's see, what are we down to? 5 years now when I plan to do my no-bow. I'll be doing this no-bow then, so, and I'll be older, much wiser. So, no worries. It's all trail time, and that is the essence of what matters. All right, so I'm slogging up this hill to the next shelter. Can't remember the name, but it's 2 miles away. Stop there, grab me some water, maybe a granola, and keep on trucking. Or, as Happy says, and I would encourage you to go take a look at his channel. He was one of the first, or the first no-bow that we've been hiking over on the updates. Let's get to stepping. Hi, I'm Happy on the trail. Talk to you in a bit. All right, so the climb out has not been too bad. Looks worse than it is on gut hooks with this graphic here, but got a lot of pretty good ups. Nothing like Jacob's Ladder, but pretty good ups interspersed with some not so terribly graded places. There are switchbacks, and you get to places like this where it is flat. So, as I said in my video about what I was switching out, and by the way, I'm gonna cover some things here that I forgot to cover in what was new for me for 2020. So I'm gonna be covering those here too. I'll leave a card up here, and you can go click on that video and see most of what I was changing for 2020. So one of the things I did mention was my pack have gone to the Z-Pack Arctic Blast, and so far I'm not real thoroughly impressed with it. The only thing I am enjoying is it weighs half of what my Exos 58 weighed. It says it has the same amount of storage capacity, 55 liters. I don't know that it does. It doesn't seem to, because I sure having a hard time getting stuff in it that I normally got in my Exos 58, which was actually a 55 because I wore a small. But it's all in there, and I am carrying a winter load. So what I got right now is around 25 pounds. I got to weigh the base. It's actually 21 without water. So, you know, add 4 pounds for 4 liters of water, and there you go. I may be actually a little heavier than that. I can't remember the calculations, how much water weighs per liter. But anyhow, I'm somewhere around 24, 25, which is typical, actually summer weights what I've been having. So I've got an extra sleeping bag, a heavier, my Patagonia heavy thermal that I wouldn't typically take, and you know, an extra pair of socks that I probably wouldn't take, and then I've got also I've got my Garmin GPS bailout button, emergency locator. So right now I'm in the clouds, so there's going to be no views today. I'm not counting on it. Actually, I thought it was going to rain today. If it does start raining, I'm not going to make the same mistake and not change into my rain gear like I did last time. It got wet. It wasn't as cold, but it's going to get cold tonight. Right now I'm just kind of getting misted, so I may be switching out here pretty quick. Oh, another thing I've changed is I've changed shirts. So still got the plaid or flannel looking button downs, but ones I had before were professional PFG, professional fishing gear, that I bought at the big box outdoor store. Didn't realize it, but it was cotton. So as we know, cotton kills, and I don't know why it didn't dawn on me, because it always held water. I just thought I had a lot of sweat and stuff. But so now I've switched to the only thing I could find. I like the snap buttons for hiking, and the only thing I could find that was like it, Patagonia apparently doesn't make anything like it that is not cotton, or PFG rather, doesn't make anything. Couldn't find anything at the big box store. Couldn't even find anything anywhere with hiking that had snap buttons. So I did find them at the Wrangler store, and it's essentially the same thing. It's just made out of nylon, which is a non-absorbing, breathable fabric. So, and it's buttons, or snaps rather, instead of buttons. I don't know if I said buttons before, but I like the snaps. So it's so it shouldn't retain water. So I switched to that. It does have a across the shoulder blades a vent. So that's really the ideal shirt. Don't know why the big box stores don't sell them, but they don't. Not that I could find even online. All right, thought I'd chat while you got to see a little bit of the trail. I'm actually going on a descent right now. Imagine that. Probably about, only been on the trail for 30 45 minutes. Probably only gone a mile and a half. Probably got another mile to the shelter. So probably won't chat till we get there, since there's absolutely no views today. It's all walking in the clouds. All right, let's see a little bit of the trail before I go. Getting ready to hit an up, and then next stop will be at the shelter. Not the one I'm staying at, but just a shelter. Oh, before I stop this, one more thing about my pack that I'm not liking is I can't get to the water bottles while walking. I almost have to stop and take them off. So I like that about the Exos, the way the water bottle pockets were sloped forward. It was a pain when I bent over to tie my shoes because my water bottles would fall out, but I can deal with that easier than I can having to stop to get to my water bottles. I can't even reach around, so I don't know if I got short arms or what. If you got Spider-Man arms, you might can do it, but me, I can't. So that's a disappointment. Had no idea about that, and we'll leave a review about that on this Z-Packs Arc. Can't remember what it is. Done walked the name out of me. Arc Blast. So that means I'll have to get me some type of water bottle holder to go on my suspension system somewhere where I can reach it. All right, next stop, shelter. All right, I'm at Little Laurel Shelter. Mile marker 294.5, and my destination is here, Jerry's Cabin 7.3. So Allen Gap. No, that's not where I came from. Anyway, this is the shelter. There is a tent pad or tent site behind it. Maybe enough for 2 or 3 tents. Couple up the trail a little bit, maybe. And right now, I don't know if you can see it, probably can't. A little bit of wintry precipitation, a little bit of snow coming down. Cabin in there, big enough for, I don't know, probably get 8, 10 people in there. If you make your buddy smile. Interesting enough, you see these old, that old fencing up underneath there. That was what the shelters had that you laid on. I guess they felt like that was like a spring mattress or something, I don't know. But that's what you laid on originally, and then they came back and just put plywood on it. And the fencing they have there was probably before they came out with pads, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, this is the shelter. It's got a picnic table that's not under the shelter. It does have a privy. And somebody's left their trash bag here. Thanks, guys. And up there, those silver things are bear cables. So it does have bear cables as well. All right, so that is the shelter here, the first stop. Little Laurel Shelter. I'm just going to grab me a quick little bit of gorp and some water, and I'm going to continue the 7 and some change on up to Jerry's cabin. Okie doke. All right, so I'm leaving Little Laurel Shelter behind me, heading on. That was 3.2 I did, so I've got about twice that, more than twice that, to get to my destination, which is Jerry's cabin. Saw some folks that were leaving out of the parking lot from Sam's Gap as I was waiting for my shuttle. Got a feeling that's where they're going, because that's about halfway between here, log cabin. So maybe a group of us there, we'll see. It's actually another one before or after for me, before Jerry's for them. I think it's Curly Maple. They may be staying there, we'll see. But anyway, I've changed into my frog togs because of precipitation. Did that earlier. When I first got on the trail, I considered putting on my gloves and actually did have on my puffy, but I decided that it wasn't cold enough, and it was cold enough to put it on then, but I was going to get heated up since I had this huge climb. And sure enough, I wound up rolling up my sleeves. Glad I didn't take the puffy. I had just tucked it in my top strap, my pack, but went ahead and stopped, got my rain top on, and put my puppy up so it didn't get wet as I started getting some actual precipitation. And it was like a little rain, freezing rain mixed. That might be the wrong name for it, since I think freezing rain is technically rain that freezes when it hits the surface. So this is more like some type of frozen precip. Anyway, it's just going to get more because I've got another 1,500 feet of altitude before I get to the top of what I'm going to be. And I think I got about 1.5 miles to get to that point. And then should be small ups and downs pretty much the rest of the trip, except for will be one larger up, but nothing like I'm going through right now. Unfortunately, I just looked at gut hooks back there at the shelter, and the prettiest portion where there's there's all these views is what I'm going to be hiking through today. So, and there's no shelter between here and Jerry's. So, it is what it is. My view will be the trail. All right, Charlie Mike. Well, I'm at climbing, and the higher I go, more snow there is left on the ground, which is to be expected. But as you notice, also all the precipitation now is snow coming down. So I expect to deal with this. Ow. Rest of the way, I'm sure Jerry's, they're not calling for any accumulation other than what's already. So this is going to slow me down, obviously, because it's slicker. And going downhill, I got to be careful. Don't have on any type of micro spikes. Not that I really need them. Just going to take it slow. But anyway, thought you'd never seen a shot from me of the trail like this. So there you go. All right, I'm on one of the hardest stuff. So I'm putting this away. Okay, I am somewhere around 4,300 feet. You can see that the trail in some places is completely snowed over. Still very discernible. So, not a problem with getting lost on it. Now I know they got the blazes, but you know, sometimes you can't see the blazes. If you look up ahead, you can't see a blaze up there. So, but it's obvious where the trail is. But it's so pretty out here. You got the snow coming down. I'm probably 2 to 3 inches. Some places 4 that I'm walking through now. I think I'm the first guy since it snowed yesterday to come through here. Certainly today. Got to go to where I summit this first hill. I think it'll be my highest point. It's somewhere around 4,800, and then pretty much stays there. Then a couple hundred feet through the day and the first part of tomorrow. But never walked in the snow on a trail. Never been where it's completely snowed over. This much coming down. It's not a lot, not like it's a blizzard or anything, but yeah, I take my glasses off. Couldn't possibly see through the bog, and I'm done with cat crap. If you don't know what that is, go back and look at my video from Neal's Gap to Dix Creek Gap. cat crap has failed me once again, so I'm done with that. I will be stopping at an optical center and finding me some anti-fog stuff. So that's something that will not be following me after this trip into 2020 and beyond. Okie doke. Chat with you in a bit. Absolutely had no clue when I started, or it just didn't occur to me, I guess because I'm a blooming idiot, that if I'd brought snowshoes, they would have been a benefit to me. And I'll say this, never hiked distances in snow before. It is incredibly more taxing on your body, particularly your thighs, than just walking the trail normally. Like every step is almost an effort. Physically and mentally, you got to be careful about where you step. And you know, normally you can see the trail, see the roots, see the rocks, and you can miss them, but I don't know what's under there. Hoping and praying I don't hit something that's gonna roll me an ankle or something. Anyway, this is, ooh, a rocky section here. This is what the trip is like right now. I think I have topped out, summited as high as I'm going, feels like it. I would say that I'm taking me twice as long. My speed is cut in half pretty much, and I gotta navigate these rocks, so let me go. Alright, so I'm on whatever mountain this is, bypass, I can't remember. It's a bypass, correction, I'm not on the bypass, I'm on the exposed ridgeline. There's a blue blaze trail here that you can take to, it's called the bad weather bypass. I'm not pretty sure what this qualifies as bad weather, but it's a white blaze this way and it's a blue blaze other way. So dumb old me decided they wanted to take the white blaze exposed ridgeline. You know, even though there's absolutely no view, I had to stop. My hands were getting cold, and I had to stop and get my rain mitts and gloves out because I was really expecting a lot of wind up here. They said there was going to be gusts to 25. And anyhow, so stopped to get that. And of course, I started getting really chilled because, again, dumb on me, and this will make the stupid video for this year, and is I packed my rain mitts all the way down and my gloves in the bottom of my pack. So I had to have a pack explosion on the trail in the falling snow. I did find some cover up underneath some rhododendron, but anyhow, that's a tips and tricks for you. Make sure you got your, I had my rain gear on top, but make sure you got other stuff you might need before you get to the shelter at the top of your pack. Like your rain gear, and if you hadn't changed into your cold weather or wet weather gear. Oh, here's something to do with the story of Howard Rock. Can't read it all. I'll have to read it later. This is the peak up here. There's Howard McDonald, Master Trail Builder, 2000, I don't have my glasses, 15 I believe is what it says. Here's the, put it up here. I guess he liked the edge of oblivion. Look at all this. Crazy. Stuff like this makes you wonder, what the heck are you doing here, Ramdino? I'm not much for cold weather. I like to be warm. And that's something about hiking in cold weather. You know, when you get to a shelter, I mean, unless you're just doing a day hike, when you get to a shelter, ain't no warm heater waiting on you there. You're getting to a shelter, and you know, you're warmest really out on the trail because you're hiking, generating heat. Once you get to the shelter, you stop moving, your body is still losing heat, but it's not generating any anymore. You start getting chilled, plus you got on sweaty clothes, and that's the balance I haven't found yet. Like right now my layers are a wicking t-shirt, a wicking long sleeve thin nylon shirt, and my frog tog jacket on top. And on the bottom I just got my old pair of scout pants that are nylon. And so I'm a little chilled, but that's because I'm sweating. Well, would it be any better if I had all of my cold weather stuff on, like my Patagonia hoodie and my merino wool bottoms? I don't know, I think it might be worse. I'm fine now that I'm back walking, but I was seriously second guessing myself back there when I had the pack explosion trying to get everything on. I'm trying to get my rain mitts and trying to get my toe bog out. Right, this is silly treacherous. So anyway, I'm glad I took it. Finally got to see some of the sky, you know, going in the tunnel, the green tunnel. You don't get to see none of it. I would have liked to see a view, but nah. Okay, let me keep going here. See if I can figure out how to turn this camera off with these nylon rain mitts on. Well, got up this morning. It sure is pretty with the sun coming up. Didn't get them time to see it crest over the hill, but we probably got another, I don't know, inch, maybe 2 inches last night. But it's gorgeous back here in the backwoods like this. It really is. It was cold last night, cold. And in my older years, and I was wet yesterday too, I'm just not so sure about if I like to be wet and cold all the time. So anyhow, I was contemplating coming out a little early. Still don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I've got one shot at it 9 miles from now as a bailout point. We'll see how things go. It's a mental game, no doubt about that. But today, with all this blue sky and the way the sun's hitting those trees, I'm like, God, I got to stay out here. It's so awesome. Now, obviously, as a thru hiker, I guess you got a choice, but you can't bail out every time you're cold and wet. Anyway, it tells me Flint Mountain Shelter's 6.4. I thought it was a little closer than that. And then at 9 miles is Devil's Fork Gap. So that is my only bail out point if I'm going to, and that is, oh, I know what it was, what I was looking at last night. I looked at Flint Mountain Shelter 7 miles, and then 3 miles from that is where I could bail out at Devil's Fork if I could call and get a shuttle back to Sam's Gap. So we'll see. The alternative is I'm out here because it's an 18-mile day back to the truck. And in the snow like this, you know, I've done, the most I've done before is 22. Snow like this yesterday, it was like just under 11. And usually 12 to 14 is my sweet spot, and 11 was all I could do in the snow. So it's a new one for me. We'll see. My glutes, I think they're called, are really burning, really sore. Maybe I'll get that worked out. All right, well, I gotta finish packing and get me some chow, and then we will be on the trail again. Well, I've said it more than once. I'm a fair weather hiker. Don't think you consider this fair weather, but I wouldn't have missed this for the world. This is what the green tunnel looks like with a little bit of white thrown in there. I got first tracks this morning. Nothing out here except me and the coyotes. Looks like. Anyway, sure is pretty. I'll let y'all enjoy just a few seconds of the trail. Well, I'm coming up to some type of bald. It's not a one that anybody maintains, I don't think, because it's overgrown, but pretty little meadow. All right, one thing about, I'm on Big Butt, just past the Big Butt bypass trail, heading up the Big Butt. In the snow, you just look like you're going up through boulders. You don't really look like you're, there's not a trail, you're just walking up boulders. So, and it really needs to be better marked than this, but you'll see right down there, somewhere, can't see, but there's a double blaze telling me I got to take a right, and I'm walking over this junk right here, and I'm like, am I going the right way? And I do see a blaze up there, so I am. But you know, look at this, you wouldn't ever think this is the trail. There may be some blazes on rocks, but that's the first one I've seen to tell me I'm going the right way. So just keep that in mind when you're coming up here, particularly in the snow. All right, I'm assuming this is Big Butt. Looks like there's a crack in the middle of it. Two predominant mounds on each side. So maybe that's why they call this Big Butt. If it is Big Butt, it wasn't marked. I don't know, but I wanted to come up here and take a look at the view anyway. Woo! All right, sorry about the wind. Hopefully, I put my glove over it, so hopefully that's muffled it some. But man, oh man. Something else. I'm looking over Tennessee there. You gotta be. Anyway, this is Big Butt for all I know. Alright, let me get my little butt down. Charlie Mike up the trail. Alright, this is a Shelton grave site. My recollection is correct. The story of this is these were two Confederates, brothers that were coming home to a family reunion. Or I can't remember what it was. Anyways, a family deal that they were coming home, and they were ambushed by Union here in Tennessee. A lot of people don't know that Tennessee was, portions of it were Union. So anyway, they were ambushed and killed supposedly here, and this is where they buried them. So somebody keeps the gravesite up because these flowers have don't look too faded. Anyway, there you go. So I have called it. I'm going to bail out early. I am coming out at Devil's Fork Gap, getting a shuttle from Nature's End Hostel to Sam's Gap where my truck is. I came out here prepared physically, meaning I had my gear, all the gear I needed. I don't know that I came out here prepared mentally. I have never hiked in snow before, so it's a learning experience. Usually my sweet spot is around 14 miles a day, 12 to 14, and it's a good day, full pack for me. So today, yesterday I did 10 and a half. So through the snow, 5 to 6 inches. Wore me slap out. Last night was cold. Snowed about 2 inches again last night. And so that left another 2 inches on the ground when I hiked out today. Got going, and the time I left the shelter's about 9:15ish. And pretty much to just south of the Shelton graves, or let's say 12 o'clock, again hiked in that deep snow. So it was a awakening experience for me not to expect my same mileage when you're in the snow. So, a couple things that put me behind, and because I had thought about going past Jerry's cabin, buying a stealth site, but of course when there's 6 inches of snow on the ground, 2 more coming, that ain't gonna work. So that got me behind. I usually on a weekend hike, take a Friday and a Monday off, start hiking Friday morning and try to get off Sunday, and that way I got Monday to recuperate before I go back to work. Some of us are still caught in the matrix, unfortunately. Anyhow, so in order for me to make the truck today, so I'd have Monday off to recuperate, and I need it because my glutes and thighs and quads are burnt. I would have had an 18-mile day, and that's just too much considering half of it was going to be in the snow. So I decided the smart thing to do physically was just to stop at Devil's Fork Gap. Part of me is disappointed by that. I'd like to have gone the whole way, but it's either bail out there or go another, I don't know. Let's see, that would have been, I don't know, somewhere around another 8 miles would have been an 18-mile day. So I could have gone to the next shelter, which was only 3 miles from Sam's Gap. I got the gear, got the food, wouldn't have been a problem, except if I'm 3 miles from the truck, I'm going. But I would have probably been doing that, part of that at night, and I didn't know what the snow conditions were going to be because I've got a big up after Devil's Fork Gap. So as spent as I am right now, then trying to do that up, then trying to do the down to get back to the truck, it's going to be a long day, and past the point where I cared about testing myself physically. My age, I'm not worried too much about testing myself. So a couple good things come out of this trip. One, I know the gear I got can handle it down to, I don't know, 25. I know now how to judge hiking in snow, and that I'm not going to make near the time. Never had considered that. I will from now on out. So I got an expectation of what the distance I need to plan, and biggest thing was not being able to leave Friday because it was pretty bad weather, rain, and obviously snow at altitude Friday, and didn't care about walking through the rain. Snow's not so bad. I just didn't care about walking through the rain, being sopping wet when I got to camp, and then it being everything freezing. So I've only seen one person on the trail. Been a good time of solitude. Enjoyed this trip, and I'll come back and do this section from Devil's Fork to Sam's Gap. Just a quick day hike sometime. It won't be bad. And then continue on from Sam's Gap on north till I link up at Hughes Gap, and then that'll have me completed everything from Amicalola on up to north of 19E, up around Mountaineer Falls. All right, folks, that is all I've got for you on this hike. Hope you got something out of it. Leave a comment in the comment section down there. Love to hear how you feel about it. Should I stay? Should I go? No, that's just an opinion. Still like to hear them. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.